The summer heat of 1863 weighed heavily as Confederate forces engaged at Gettysburg in a struggle that would determine their destiny. Lieutenant General James Longstreet found himself in the eye of the hurricane, his subsequent writings laying bare the disarray and blunders that afflicted Confederate command. While scouts delivered intelligence and commands were exchanged, Longstreet's narrative revealed how faulty communications, postponed assaults, and immense pressure burdened his soldiers. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel at this very moment to support our mission to disseminate more obscure narratives from the past. With each passing hour, the strain increased until a pivotal instant when strategies collapsed and failure appeared inevitable. Longstreet's own experience offers us a perspective on a conflict replete with both courage and frailty, where a country's aspirations shattered upon the unyielding realities of warfare. This is not merely concerning military maneuvers, it is about human beings tested to their breaking point, the immense weight of leadership, and how conflicts at Gettysburg resulted in catastrophe. Headquarters, 1st Army Corps, Department of Northern Virginia, near Culpeper Courthouse, July 27, 1863. On the evening of the 28th, one of my scouts arrived with intelligence that opposing forces had crossed the Potomac and were likely pursuing our trajectory. The scout was dispatched to General Headquarters carrying my recommendation that our forces should concentrate to the east of the mountains and prepare for engagement. The following day, I received instructions to relocate a portion of my command to establish a base at Greenwood. The bulk of my units departed on the morning of the 30th, save for Pickett's division, which remained at Chambersburg to protect our rear. By approximately 2 in the afternoon, the 2 divisions and reserve artillery had established their camp at Greenwood. General Hood was instructed to leave 1 brigade and battery with Pickett at New Guilford on the route leading toward Emmitsburg. The next day, our forces commenced their advance toward Gettysburg, with the exception of Pickett's division still at Chambersburg and Hood's substantial brigade remaining at New Guilford. Our progress was severely impeded when Johnson's division from the 2nd Corps entered the road from Shippensburg, accompanied by an extensive wagon train. Nevertheless, McClellan's division arrived at Marsh Creek 4 miles from Gettysburg just after nightfall, while Hood's division reached within about the same distance by midnight. Law's brigade received orders to advance and unite with its division that same day, arriving around noon on the 2nd. Prior to this development, the commanding general directed me to maneuver my available units to access the Emmitsburg Road on the enemy's left flank. The enemy had been forced into retreat the previous day by Lieutenant Generals Ewell and A.P. Hill and had assumed a powerful position extending from Cemetery Hill along the Emmitsburg Road. Concerned my forces were insufficient for an assault, I resolved to delay until General Law's brigade arrived. Once they had united with us, we commenced our movement. Engineers from my staff and the commanding general's office led us along a path that potentially revealed our intentions. We wasted some time seeking a more concealed route. McClellan's division assumed a position opposing the enemy's left around 4 p.m., while Hood's division advanced farther to the right and partially around the enemy's left flank. The enemy's initial position along the Emmitsburg Road was not significantly stronger than the one held by our 2 divisions. Our artillery commenced bombardment of this position. With Hood's division assaulting from the left and McClellan's from the front, we quickly compelled them to retreat onto a rugged hill, made difficult to ascend by broken terrain. Numerous stone fences at its base rendered it even more formidable. The enemy concealed themselves behind these fences and tenaciously held their ground as we gradually forced them back until nearly dark, when a substantial force encountered brigades from Major General Anderson's division supporting my left. This caused one brigade to withdraw and undermined support for another, leaving my left flank somewhat exposed. Around this time, Wofford's brigade from McClellan's division also retreated. I judged it prudent not to advance further until my remaining troops arrived. General Hood was severely wounded shortly after the engagement commenced and was compelled to leave the field. This resulted in some disruption to our operations. Brigadier General J.T. Anderson from his division was also gravely injured and had to depart. Throughout this assault, General McClaw lost 2 brigade commanders. General Barksdale suffered a mortal wound, while General Semmes was severely injured and later perished. By this point, our command was positioned to maintain ground captured on the right, while my left fell back to the enemy's original position at Peach Orchard. That day, we seized 4 artillery pieces and 2 regimental flags. Next morning, we organized to assault again from the right, intending to outflank the hill held by the enemy on their left. This would require time but did not appear excessively difficult. Shortly after I issued these orders, the commanding general joined me and instructed me to form an assault column using Pickett's, Heath's, and a portion of Pender's division. The attack would proceed directly toward the enemy's primary position on Cemetery Hill. The open terrain we would need to cross under enemy fire seemed too extensive to succeed, particularly since 2/3 of these soldiers had fought intensely 2 days prior, with only Pickett's division being fresh. Major General Pickett was commanded to position his line utilizing whatever protection he could find from enemy artillery, ensuring the center of the assault would strike the enemy's most fortified point. Pickett's division would lead with General Pettigrew and Commander Heath's division advancing alongside him. Pickett positioned 2 brigades in front with a 3rd behind. Wilcox's brigade was stationed behind Pickett's right for support. Heath's division under Brigadier General Pettigrew constituted 2 lines reinforced by part of Major General Pender's division under Major General Tremble. All cannon from the 1st and 3rd Corps, plus several from the 2nd Corps, were positioned to strike the assault point and the enemy's left. Colonel Walton, Chief of Artillery for the 1st Corps, and Colonel Alexander had positioned our guns and coordinated with other artillery officers regarding when to commence firing. Around 2 p.m., General Pickett reported his troops were prepared and concealed behind our artillery. Colonel Walton was commanded to open fire. The signal guns fired, and all our artillery replied effectively. Cannon on the enemy's left were soon silenced, but those on Cemetery Hill continued resisting fiercely. Many of their guns were disabled, but fresh ones rapidly replaced them. Colonel Alexander was instructed to identify the optimal location to observe our fire and advise us when to attack. After our artillery commenced, I rode to Major James Deering's battery and witnessed the enemy rushing new guns into position as quickly as we knocked them out. I understood we needed to attack soon if we desired outcomes before darkness. I commanded our guns to replenish their ammunition chests and prepare to support our advance. Discovering Alexander had already informed Pickett the time had come, I gave Pickett the order to advance. Then I found we had so little ammunition remaining that our artillery could not provide effective support. I would not have commanded this attack under more favorable circumstances, but it was too late to recall it now. The advance began in excellent order. All units maintained straight formations while enduring enemy fire with calm resolve. Approximately halfway to the enemy, a ravine provided some cover where we halted briefly. Then we moved forward again. Enemy guns soon fired canister at us, causing our left to falter under the hail of metal, but we continued advancing. Pickett's men barely paused except to return fire when at close range. Major General Anderson's division was dispatched to aid Pettigrew and Tremble unsteady lines. After firing upon the enemy, Pickett's troops charged, but then broke and fell back in disarray. More men fell during the withdrawal than in the assault. This enabled the enemy to concentrate on Pickett's division, endangering its annihilation before Anderson could assist. Anderson would be vulnerable if he advanced too far forward alone, so I instructed him to halt. Soon the enemy struck Pickett's division from every direction, driving it back and capturing half those not killed or wounded. General Wright of Anderson's division and all officers were instructed to assemble dispersed troops behind Anderson's lines. Staff officers were sent to assist. Anticipating a counterattack, I rode to the artillery to direct their fire. The enemy probed our lines with minor advances that withdrew when our guns fired. This continued until nightfall, when they disengaged. Our line then withdrew to the Gettysburg Road, linking with Lieutenant General A. P. Hillswright. After dark, orders arrived to prepare for retreat. Work commenced before dawn on the 4th. That night, units withdrew, and my command followed Lieutenant General A. P. Hill. Heavy rain and dreadful roads slowed our progress, but we reached the mountains by the night of the 5th. On the 6th, we marched toward Hagerstown, though exhausted men and animals could not move rapidly. I was distressed we could not reach Hagerstown in time to assist our threatened trains at Williamsport. We arrived around 5 p.m. and encamped 2 miles from town. Reports itemizing our dead, wounded, and missing have already been submitted. I remain, Colonel, your most obedient servant, James Longstreet, Lieutenant General Commanding, 1st Army Corps, Department of Northern Virginia. As the smoke dissipated over Gettysburg, the battlefield grew silent, yet filled with difficult questions. Longstreet's account demonstrates not merely Confederate shortcomings, but the haunting possibilities. Might alternative decisions have altered the outcome? Could superior cohesion among commanders have reversed the momentum? Retreating in defeat, Longstreet and his men carried more than injuries. They carried the burden of missed opportunities. The march to Hagerstown was not simply a retreat, but the commencement of a more profound conflict concerning their identity and their cause. While the Union celebrated, the Confederacy confronted painful realities. Longstreet's story compels us to question, how do leaders make impossible wartime choices? What lessons can we draw from this conflict today? Inform us in the comments what you believe about Gettysburg's commanders. The combat ceased long ago, but the conversation persists. Leave a comment with your opinions and subscribe for further explorations into history's most pivotal moments.